Morning. One of the things that I love about my job, aside from being able to connect with loads of different people and new people, is that I get to travel around and visit some of my friends around the world that I rarely get to see. And right behind me you can see Brighton Pier, and it's a really beautiful morning. I've just finished my practice. I want to talk about tension stored inside of the body today. And a few days ago I was actually working in Leeds, where another friend of mine and I were discussing scoliosis, and one of the bits of information that we came across was that apparently, and I mean I don't know how factual this is, but apparently and then there's a typical UK kind of need to have an ambulance sound every weekend thing going on. So tension in the body, yeah. Scoliosis. Apparently, when somebody who has scoliosis gets to a morgue, when they're no longer a person, I guess, there is no scoliosis. And that made me realize that we basically walk around with all this tension stored inside of our bodies, and that tension must be going on for such a long time that it begins to contort the spine in that way. Now, like I said, don't take that as absolute fact. I'm actually going to investigate that a little bit further, but it inspired another series of thought processes for me. And one of them was that a bunch of things are happening right now that I will talk about at some point, but really they're things that I should be celebrating in my life. And there's a part of me that is afraid of celebrating them, especially out loud, for the fear of what my friends or my family would think, or my students would think, or how I'm then supposed to behave as a result of sharing this information that I kind of want to celebrate. And then I realized in my practice this morning that that thought process in itself created loads of tensions inside of my body. And as I was working through these tensions during my yoga practice, I was allowing them to dissolve inside of me. And there is a quote, and I can't remember who said it, but it goes, "Your body is your medium for having a world." So without having a physical body, we're unable to appreciate the world and the universe and all of its joys and pleasures amongst everything else. Anyway, I realized as I was dissolving these tensions inside of my body that I was melting away narratives. I was melting away stories that I had created inside of my own head about what it would mean to share what I want to celebrate with my friends, my family, and my students. And I realized as I was dissolving these tensions that I actually had to be myself in the first place in order for these wonderful things to happen to me. And then what happens is that when these wonderful things happen to me or us, then we start to hold on to these tensions, which then actually direct us to living life in a very different way. And what I mean by that is living life not as we are. And then just before the apex poses in Shavasana, I want to own and recognize that it takes us to be who we are to really enjoy the path that we're on, for these wonderful occurrences to come up in our lives. So it's up to us as individuals to continue to connect to who we really are and the expression of that through our body, our physical body, in order to continue having a life attracting the things that are worth celebrating. I really hope that made sense.